We've brought our readers to Seat's factory in Barcelona, Spain to see the new Seat Ibiza, a rival to the Skoda Fabia and Ford Fiesta. Let's find out what they think of it.
The first thing you do with a car, you look at it before you even get in it. So the design itself is very sharp, and I like the creases along the side, along the bonnet, and where there's little details where the crease on the sides goes into the rear light, flicks down and then comes back along the bottom end of the car. I think it's a very nice touch.
I like the lines on the bonnet, the lines on the front, sort of around the front fog lights. That looks like they've actually been designed into the car. I also like the line on the back door that sort of kicks up and sort of goes into the line of the bumper at the back.
I like the crisp lines. I like a car to look sort of aggressive and like it's got a purpose, like it wants to be driven and go somewhere, as opposed to just sort of being stationary and melted to the spot. I think this car definitely does that, definitely with the crisp lines.
The LED headlights are really nice. They make the car.
It's a really good looking car, and that good looks on the outside carry through onto the inside, which is important. It's a real sort of step up, I would say, on what I've seen before from Seat in particular. It's a really nice car to look at and a really nice place to be in.
The interior, the way it's set up, everything is to hand. You've got touch screen and climate controls right where you need them. Nothing's set too far back. Storage wise, there are nooks and crannies everywhere. Materials are fine. There's not much in the way of soft touch plastics, but I don't feel that's an issue. Everything you touch is solid.
I liked the contrast sort of centre part of the dashboard. Thought that looks really stylish, like on this car, or in a piano black apparently. I think it's a light grey on the SE technology. But I particularly like the 8-inch infotainment screen on that. Seems like it's a really high quality screen.
The speed and fluidity of the screen is much improved. Navigation itself much faster at finding routes.
You've also got, in the instrument cluster, you've got a small TFT screen which you can change the menus of information, so you can have sat-nav or driving data, things like that on there. Do you think that's quite a good addition to a car in this class?
Yeah. It's not full colour from what I can see, as it would be in the Leon, but it's still very useful.
So in terms of practicality, it's quite a large boot for the class. Could you tell us about that?
I believe the biggest in its class, or will be. It is a massive boot, especially compared to the Fiesta. The shape's really good as well, and the adjustable boot floor is a really good feature, especially if you want to load larger items. When you flip the seats down, you've got a great flat load bay.
I think it's just slightly larger than the Fabia's boot. It's very impressive for the class.
There are no electronic seats available. Instead, you've got the three-way manual adjustment. Do you find that the driving position is still comfortable?
Yeah, definitely. I've never had the use of electronic seats myself, but the height and driving position itself is all perfectly fine.
You've sat perfectly in the car. Some cars you kind of get into and you can't get the right position because you feel too high, too low, whereas this one, you just sit just right.
Rear head and legroom is particularly good. Coming from the Leon, it's not far off of it, but you do lose out on creature comforts. There's no cup holders or a rear air vent or anything like that.
I'd adjusted the seats for myself to drive it, and then sat behind myself, the seat in the same position. Plenty of room for me, headroom, elbow room, everything.
Yeah, it's a surprising amount actually of space in the back. Slight sort of lump in the middle. You get that in a lot of cars, bigger than I expected it to be.
In terms of on the road, so the petrol engine options, there's 3 versions of the 1 litre. Which do you think you would go for? The higher one on the FR, as well as a 1.5 on the FR with a lot of horsepower. Would that interest you more than the lower powered ones? Or?
Probably not really. I think I'd be more inclined to go for the lower powered ones, and probably actually the 95 PS manual.
The 1.5, I'd like to see just how more economical and efficient it is, and being that it would be the same power, see how that fares as well.
Probably the 1 litre. I've got a 1 litre in a Fiesta at the minute. I can't see any reason to get a bigger engine these days. The things that they do with the 1 litre engines are pretty impressive.
Do you think think it's a class leader compared with other cars like the Fabia and the Fiesta or the Vauxhall Corsa?
I think they've stepped it up quite a bit, actually, yes. I think the Fabia is a very good car, but things I've read about it so far, the Ibiza, the greater level of refinement, the better ride quality.
It feels grown up. It feels like it's kind of reached a landmark now where it can compete with rivals from its own group, VW in particular.
Things to dislike, honestly,
Yeah,
I'd be struggling. I'm not just saying that because I like to say it. I think that there's genuinely not much you can fault with this car. Rear luxuries maybe, but the space is there. So honestly, yeah. I just want to test drive the 1.5.
The Ibiza is on sale from May, priced from £13,130, and our readers seem very impressed with it. Don't forget to subscribe to the What Car YouTube channel and check back to whatcar.com for more information.